Hey, good evening. It is Christmas Eve 2024. Wow, another year almost over. Um, I realize that very few people will be able to join me live tonight, but I wanted to keep with my word and do absolutely everything I can to, uh, you know, to do to make it to these and stay consistent with every Tuesday. Next Tuesday is not only New Year's Eve, but it's also going to be the day after I have surgery. So if for some reason I don't make it next Tuesday, you'll know why. But I am, I'm dedicated to this schedule every Tuesday, and Tuesday live, Squatter Talk Tuesday live every Tuesday 6 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you who came out, and logged on to watch this on Christmas Eve, I appreciate you always, but I certainly appreciate you coming out on Christmas Eve to join me. And thank you for joining me. And if you're watching the repeat of this, or you're watching it after it comes out to actual video, thank you for joining me as well. Thank you for viewing always. Today I kind of wanted to talk about, I didn't really put anything in the description because I wanted to kind of bounce around and talk about a couple different things. And if you're watching this as a video, you might see more detail in the description, or in the title. But for the live, it's basically just Squatter Talk Tuesdays, and that's why. So, first of all, I wanted to tell everyone Merry Christmas. I appreciate and love everyone that and all the support. And I see people chiming in with some Merry Christmas, and I appreciate that. And I will get to comments and some questions before the end of this live. So, I wanted to talk about a couple different cases, but also my next video that's coming out, I'm actually hoping to put it out tonight maybe, but wanted to let you know, like a year ago, I wanted to prove my point that homeless people have more pride than squatters. That homeless people, they are people that absolutely are in need, and they need help, and they're not always homeless by choice, and and the reason I say that is because I personally have a cousin that says that he is, and claims that he is, just off the grid. So that being said, I believe that homeless people will, most of the time, and I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time, homeless people will, they will live in a tent, or they will live literally in a cardboard box. They'll live on the sidewalk. They'll live in a park. They'll live at the beach. They'll live wherever they can find a place to live. And they will do that, not always by choice, but they will do that instead of breaking into someone's house and trying to steal something from somebody else. So that's why I say that homeless people have more pride than squatters. So anyway, so a year ago or so, I did a video with Anthony and his mom and his mother. And so I decided that, I was going to pay them a visit for holiday time. I was going to, I was in the area, and I figured I would stop in, see how they're doing, give them a little Christmas card, and, maybe help them out a little bit through the holidays, and just kind of just tell them, hey, there's, people out there that care. When I got there, and the reason I'm doing a video is because when I got there, I pulled around the corner and I see an empty lot. Now, the last time I had been there, I didn't shoot a video, but I went there, and there were like, 3 tents and 3 encampments set up, 3 different families. And when I pull around the corner today, I see dirt. I see an empty lot. And I'm going to share that in the video. And again, the reason why I decided to put a video together as a recap and to show that is because of the feeling that I had when I pulled around the corner and saw an empty lot. And you would think that I would, you would think that the emotion would be happy. You would think that maybe it would be, satisfaction, because my first thought should be that a group of homeless people found shelter. But unfortunately, because of the way the system is and because of the way, lack of services for homeless people, I didn't have that. That wasn't my first thought. And all of a sudden I was kind of torn up because, let me give you, just so you know, the reason I have a heart for homeless, but I still kick squatters out is because, I was homeless. There was a time where my family was homeless when I was a child. And, we lived in I remember living in a van in a park and thinking it was the greatest thing in the world to come outside and have a playground with a bunch of sand that I probably thought was my front yard and was mine. And, I don't know, but I do know that it didn't matter what we were going through. There is no way in the world we would have been stealing from somebody else. We wouldn't have been breaking into someone's house to take a home from someone else. So, now back to Anthony's mom. So I pull around and I'm a little torn up inside because I felt like I should have felt good, but unfortunately, not knowing what happened to them, I didn't know, so I wasn't happy, so anyway, so I'm going to do a video. I say, a lot of that same stuff in the video, but you'll understand why I'm doing the video when it does come out. Now I wanted to talk about a couple of things, and I got word today that one of my squatter cases in Brentwood, California, that I had been working on resolved today. They surrendered the home as agreed, and so I feel really good about that. Now, the thing about that is, when I do an intervention, sometimes people will, when they do a Zoom with me, I find it, especially when it's non-paying tenants, I find that I can get involved and I can become a mediator in that system and I can communicate with them. And yes, I do tell them that if they choose not to vacate, because remember, the key is to make it legal, they have to choose to vacate. So if they don't choose to vacate, that I am going to add them to the National Registry that's coming out soon. And I'm going to do an exposing squatter video, and I'm going to basically make them squatter famous to the world. And then I tell them the next step would be that we go there and in person and possibly move in with them and put cameras up. So I do this in a way that it's basically a statement of facts. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is, my following, and I do it in a way that I'm hoping to start a line of communication with them. And it's extremely successful, but occasionally I have somebody who is very defensive and combative and thinks that I'm bullying or I'm threatening. And I want to make it very clear that I am not threatening. I'm basically telling you a fact. The fact is, you can choose not to vacate, but then I can choose to expose you because it's the truth, okay? And that's the thing that a lot of these people don't understand. I get threats, oh, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to whatever, but as long as I stick to the truth, there is no defamation. I'm not lying. So I make sure that I'm going to publish the truth. So I am not reaching out to bully anyone. I'm not reaching out to threaten anyone. It might appear that way, but the truth is, I, in my soul, totally believe that if you commit an evil act, you should pay for it and the public should know. And even though by man's law, squatting isn't considered a criminal act and it is a civil matter by man's law, by, let's say, on this religious holiday, by God's law, and by all that is holy, and by all that is just moral, it's against the law. It's against moral law. So what I'm doing is I'm telling these people that I'm going to give you an opportunity to make the right decision. And if you don't make the right decision, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows about it. So the other night I was thinking about the exposure part of it. And I thought, I not only want to kick these people out of the home, but I want to kick them out of the community. Okay? I want to scare these squatters out of your community. Therefore, when I post a video and I expose a squatter in your community, I'm letting you know that you have one amongst you, right? So I thought to myself, how can I let the community know? Well, because not everyone is watching my videos. Not everyone knows about me, right? Not yet. So I'm going to start reaching out to billboard companies, and I'm going to ask them to donate 30 days when a billboard is vacant. When they're not making any money off that billboard, the only thing they have running through that billboard is the wind. I'm going to ask them to donate the billboard or get donors and get people to donate money towards a billboard. But I'm going to start putting up squatter in the neighborhood, squatter in your community, whatever, face, description, and details. And I want to put it on a billboard. Now, we've seen this happen before where, women have posted about their ex-husbands, and we've had people post about people, murderers, because they didn't want, they wanted everyone to know, or child molesters, or whatever it is. We've seen people do this on billboards in the past. So I thought, why don't I see if I can get some billboard companies that have wasted space right now, that they don't have an income coming in, to donate the billboard for that month. I don't need it longer than that. I don't even need it really a full month to get the point across. But can you imagine driving down the freeway, about to get off your off-ramp, and you see this big billboard, cabbage, right? Okay, well, anyway, enough of that. So anyway, just a thought I had. Hopefully, maybe I can do that. Maybe people will, help out with that. Heck, I can put screenshots and somebody can just do that anonymously. Take the screenshot from my video or the website, and they can post it on a billboard without me. I don't even need to know who it is. There's an idea, right? So anyway, so that's an idea. All right. So I want to, we've had some success this year. I've met with some, people in California to try to, work on hopefully changing legislation in California. I've worked with, I've met with, from San Francisco, Eric Swalwell. I've met with a possible future governor, Stephen Klubeck, who supports, and if he becomes governor of California in a couple of years, I fully expect that he will support not only squatter law change, but revamping of tenant laws, and will be a little bit stronger to help with homeowners and tenant rights. So We had the video of the scary squatter, that caught in the dark, where she was climbing in the bedroom window. She took advantage of an elderly woman. She pretended to be a squatter. I mean, a caregiver, and she, basically was literally locked. I had her locked into a bedroom and no power, and climbing in and out of a bedroom window. I will do a full video of that one now that one is solved as well. We had some success. We had Adam Fleischman in Beverly Hills was removed. We had some people that creating fake realtors in Nevada that were removed. We've had some success this year, and I can't even, maybe the New Year's Eve one, maybe I will go through a recap of the year. I can't do it without your support. You guys subscribing to me makes a lot of difference. And I can't explain enough that when I reach out to somebody and they are defensive and they are, combative, and then when they have a chance to actually see who I am, what I do, who my followers are, all the news coverage, their tone changes, and then it's about negotiating an exit plan. So most of the time, it's easy, and it comes down to who's following me, how many people, and how many people are going to see my videos. So when you subscribe, that's the first thing they see. Like right now, I'm at like 94,000, followers or subscribers on YouTube. And that's the number that squatters see when they first look it up. They look at that. So subscribing might mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me. And what it means to me is it helps me get squatters out. So if you want to help, you can't help financially. You can help by clicking that little button. So anyway, I just need to tell you how important you are to me. And, I love doing these lives. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate those of you who, join and comment and things like that. And speaking of that, I'm going to get to some of these comments, and let's see what, and if, all right. So we've got Betty. Merry Christmas, Betty. Thank you so much. Betty also wished me, prayers for my surgery. I'm not going to go into what my surgery is. It is an extensive. I don't know what the word is, but I am a little worried about it. But I have good support systems and family and friends, and great support, and so I appreciate that. John, the Bengal Dad, Merry Christmas. Thanks from Fort Myers, Florida. D, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Let's see, from Lodi, California. Was at TI Book Club. Merry Christmas. Susan, Merry Christmas. From Central Florida. Patrick, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. John, John was just saying hi to Susan. Well, all right. So let's see here. Bam. Let's see. Best of health for you going forward. Thank you so much. And prayer. And now, Osti here had asked about California legislation. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on all the states, and I can't devote all my time to it, but I'm doing the best I can. And these videos, and every time I mention it, and it's seen, and hopefully I'll get some more news coverage in the new year as well. And and just TV show comes out, I'm sure that's going to help as well. And we've got. What's going on here? Okay. So Lori asked about what's happening with the TmAcula minister. that is, I'm going to be doing an exposing video soon because I need to put pressure and get her to make the right decision. Shell, Flash, don't worry. Needlessly, God has you. You know what? I know, absolutely know that, and I'm strong and I'm fine. And it's not a life-threatening surgery, by the way. I should mention that. So I just mean if I'm doped up on painkillers and I don't want to be loopy on the live next week, that's why I would be missing it. So Sally, Merry Christmas, Flash, praying for a safe surgery. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Shell was asking okay, here's a question. I was wondering if you ever have to deal with drug addicts. I believe, and I'm going to just show that one here. Okay. So since I'm going to respond to this, it's up there on the screen. I have to believe that I do. And, I think that some people that are drug addicts, they walk amongst us and we don't even know. So there's no way for me to really know who is and who isn't, and let alone knowing who's lying and who isn't, because sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. Sometimes a squatter lies, sometimes a homeowner lies, and I have to just kind of wade through all of that crap sometimes. So as far as drug addicts, I believe that absolutely I deal with drug addicts all the time, as well as everyone else here. Every one of you deals with drug addicts, whether it's at your at your job, at your at church, there are people addicted to drugs, and that drugs could be painkillers, it could be anything. And the truth is, there are a lot of people that they live their everyday life, and they're functioning drug addicts just like there are functioning alcoholics. So yes, I do. All right, we have Richard here says, don't worry about them giving you any painkillers, Flash. They don't do that anymore because addicts, and don't complain that you're in pain because you'll be labeled. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know that I'm worried about that. I definitely will be having some Vicodin. Remember, there are places in California where they give out drugs. So, right? I wanted to bring up also about the drug addicts. Recently, a couple months ago, I actually found a crack pipe at a location. So that was the first time I had ever seen one of those. I do. Drug addicts are all around us. Some of them, all of them need help. So let's see here. Lori says, I think the ministry TmAcula belongs to is a scam. You know what? I think you're trying to say that it's something she belongs to. I want to find out if she does go to church. I'm actually looking to have a meeting with whatever pastor or I've done that before where I've gone and met. I don't film out of respect when I go to a church, but I've done that where I've actually gone in undercover and went into a service and where a squatter was participating, and I fully intend on doing that in this situation because I feel like the church and the pastor should know what is going on outside of the walls of their church. So, so that's it for the questions and comments today. And I'm gonna sign off here soon. It's almost 30 minutes. I just want to again just reiterate how much I appreciate doing these lives. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the support because, first of all, I would have never got into doing the squatter business in the first place if I wasn't getting support and requests and love. So I thank you guys for giving me all of that just to get me to do it in the first place. And then something I have to always say, don't approach an intruder on your own. It's property. Don't risk your life. If you think that you have an intruder, if you think that you have a trespasser, call law enforcement. Let them make sure that the property is safe. Let them keep you and your family safe. It is property. It's not worth risking your life. But as soon as law enforcement tells you it's a civil matter and there's nothing we can do, contact me at squatterhunters.com. We'll do a Zoom. I will give you advice. I will either help you with how you can take care of it yourself, or I will give you options to use Squatter Hunters to come out and help you get rid of your squatters or non-paying tenants for you. So anyway, all right. Love you all and Merry Christmas. I'll see you next week on New Year's Eve. And all right. See you guys. Be safe now. Take care now. Bye.